Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is episode 2 of our Reloader podcast. I'm the authority of attack, Joe P. Stiletto, joined today, as always, by Reloader Chief Christopher Bumbershoot.
Hey Joe, hey everybody. Thank you all for joining us sincerely. We're now in double digits of subscribers. By the time this gets released, the number is going to be different. So let's just say double digits. Hopefully by then we're triple digits.
Hopefully we can double the double digits.
Double the double digits. But a special thank you truly to our friends and family who have subscribed and followed us. We're trying to get this launched and really appreciate your support. Every little bit helps to get that algorithm sparked. So really thank you, everybody. It means a lot.
Yeah, to all those who have been there from the get-go and helping us get it going, we appreciate it very much.
Our podcast so far was the most watched hours on the channel. So thank you all for tuning into that. Maybe we're doing something right. But enough of that. On today's show, our main topic are the reloads themselves. We're going to be talking about the current reloads we're using right now on the field in our alpha testing, future possible reloads to introduce on the field. We have some in the garage right now, Joe, that we're just waiting to bust out. The philosophy behind the reloads, why we use those, and how they fit into, the story of Reloader, the game. Strategy and what reloads to choose. We'll also go over the latest Reloader news and developments, what's going on in the channel. That's why we record this podcast week to week, to update you on what's going on in our world. But first, as always, we're going to go through a walkthrough and breakdown of last week's round, what went on. We'll get to the spoilers. If you haven't seen episode 2 or 1, please go watch those first because we're going to spoil it by going over the round. So, let's get right into it. Last week's race. Joe's structure is the same as the first episode because, the structure remains the same through the entire match. So for the 3 rounds that we're doing, the first 3 weeks of episodes, we're in alpha testing version 1.
Yeah, this is our alpha testing, so the field remains the same.
Yeah, so we have, 7 pieces of ammo to get on both sides of the field, plus 1 to the winner of the race zone. Only 3 targets, as we said, and then the 1 boss target. Best 2 out of 3. This is going to be round 2 of 3 with Joe P. Stiletto winning that first round. And we're switching sides. So I think I was on red on week 1, and then I'm on blue week 2, and I had to switch shirts, right? I couldn't just.
Yeah, for yourself, you wanted to go all out, and yeah, you switched shirts as well as switching sides.
So yeah, if you're confused, I'm wearing a blue shirt when I'm on the blue side. But yeah, let's walk through the round. Let's set the scene, Joe. We're in second round now. We're still in the desert. We got there, like we said last week, we got there butt crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Break of dawn. How are you feeling at this point, having won the first round? And now, and again, those who don't know, it's just us 2 out there. We're out of our element. We had scouted this piece of land before we've been there, but we're kind of not entirely comfortable out there either. We're in the wilds. In fact, on the road there, a coyote crossed us. So, because it was that.
Yeah,
early
we
in
saw
the
a coyote cross the road and jump over a barbed wire fence.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're here. We're here.
So, being that we're the only 2 out there, we have to reset the field from last round. So we're not just tired from setting up the field, doing the first round. Now we have to reset the field again so we can round it again. So it's a bit of a work.
Oh, well, definitely. I mean, I know I was a little spent. I don't want to say gassed.
You looked fine at the end of the first round.
Well, I mean, because honestly, this was something we've both been putting in work for a long time. I was excited about the day. And again, for those who haven't heard it, I am super competitive. I was happy that I won the first race. So I had that little euphoric feeling going. Although with the realization that like, oh yeah, now we got to reset the field.
And in contrast to you feeling super competitive, I was not. I was just a bundle of nerves. Because I'm more concerned, like, are the cameras working?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely, I'll give you that. You have a lot more responsibility as far as taking care of the equipment and making sure it's running properly. Where, I mean, I just go reset the field, which, I mean, isn't the easiest, but less mentally challenging.
Yeah. And speaking of the responsibility of making sure everything's working, we had a false start before round 2 started. So we reset the field. We're ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go. Walk us through. What happened? Tell the story.
Well, yeah, we had that going.
All the cameras are on.
Yeah, all the cameras were running. We took off. Did the sprint sled? Did the sprint sled start of the race?
I felt in that one we were tied. The second,
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, the final second round that's already that's posted. You won for sure.
Yeah.
But this one I felt like we tied. But it was it was a wash. But go on, continue your story.
Well, yeah, finish the race, take off the harness. I remember heading for the supply bag, and then just hearing you, stop, wait. And I'm lifting the supply bag. I'm ready to get it up. And what? And I look up and I see the drone, like mimicking ET, going home. Or it just like disappeared into the air.
Going straight up.
It was like a speck, and not knowing what direction, was that oh shoot feeling. So had the supply bag halfway up, saw the drone fly away, dropped it, and then just hopes that, okay, I hope we don't lose this.
Yeah.
Lose this and lose the whole day.
So what happened, and we didn't know it at the time, and I'm freaking out because I'm rocking an iPhone 10 over here. I don't update my electronics very often. So the drone takes off in the air, and thankfully it came back down. But I guess what happens is when the battery is low, the default is to go straight up and return to your home point. But it goes up because I guess it wants to avoid any obstacles like trees or buildings or something. So it goes up to come like straight down.
Right.
But I didn't know that, and it was taking off. And it takes us back, another story time, another tangent of a story time, takes us back to when we scouted the field trying the drone, and it took off because of complete malfunction.
Right.
So that went through my head like, oh, this thing is taking off. So we paused the round. Well, we didn't pause it. We just canceled it. We stopped it.
Well, I mean, I know, but for those out there who don't know, I'm a little technologically disadvanced. So when things like that happen, I'm just looking at Chris like, okay, I hope I hope you fix it. I hope you get it back, because I'm like helpless and hopeless when it comes to some of that stuff.
Yeah, just get under it like it's a fly ball and help me catch it. That's
just come down. I got you.
So we called it off, and at the same time we called it off, you already have the bag in hand, right?
Yeah.
And it was full of ants.
Oh yeah, I noticed it was like a ton of those
fire ants,
huge old fire ants that are out there in the desert. I mean, if you got 10 of them together, they could probably take you out. I mean, who knows? But the bag was all full of them. So luckily that saved me as well. And when I reset the field, kind of, inch it a little bit away from them.
I lifted that same bag when I was on the red side, and I didn't see any ants, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Well, you might have disturbed them, for all I know.
Oh, well, you were the one that reset the field, apparently, so that's on you. So, in short, false start, second round. So we had to go back, reset the cameras. I changed the battery in the drone. Everything's good now. Now I change the battery of the drone every round because I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So now we're ready to start the actual round. We did the race zone again, which I hate sprinting, by the way.
I don't mind.
You know, because I'm not flexible.
Well, I mean, that's hence the difference in athletes when it comes to playing this sport and keeping it competitive.
Yeah. You were, we played baseball together, and you were always a better base runner. You got that sprint down. I've never been a sprinter. I've never been fast.
Yeah, that was my thing.
So, it took us about 5 seconds. The sprint sled, you won. It was close. I have a note here. Close enough to ask who won, and Joe said, me. So 1 bullet to you. At 8:42, I get to the cache. So you're running up to the sandbag.
Correct.
Again, you go for the same. You have the same game plan than mine. I run to the cache to try to pick up an easy ammo to tie it up.
Right.
And I chuck it. And you look at me like, you're not supposed to chuck it.
Well, yeah, at that point, I think there were some details that we never really got into.
Yeah, we never really said, you can't do that.
And obviously, this is the growing process. But yeah, that was one of those, like you said, I saw you checking it, and I'm going for the sandbag, and I'm thinking, like, oh, shoot, did he just do that? And I'm going for the hardest reload at the moment. So, yeah, it kind of set me back a little bit.
And I know I said like we go in with a strategy, but that actually wasn't part of my strategy. I just like, F it, why not? I'm gonna just throw it and why
Right.
not?
Yeah. See what
We didn't say
happens.
we couldn't.
Yeah. True.
But I didn't get there. It landed close. You know, it's kind of far to throw a 7 pound anything,
Right.
like a shot put. So it didn't get there, but it got closer for me.
Right.
So at that point, I head to the jerry cans at 8:34, and by that point, you're picking up the sandbag. Anybody that's never tried to pick up a 150-pound bag of sand, it takes a little oomph. It takes steps. Like when I do it, I bring it to my lap, and we'll get more into this during the reload section.
Right.
But I do it in phases. I bring it to my lap, and then I bring it up. So it's not an easy like thing where you just lift it
Well,
in
honestly,
one movement.
honestly speaking, at this stage as well, that was something I really hadn't done a lot. So yeah, it was something I was still learning how to do. My game plan was again to win the sprint sled part of the race, which I did, which was my goal. But I figured, yeah, I'd go for the supply bag this time, get 3 pieces of ammo, and maybe go for it that way. But obviously, not knowing your strategy, I still stuck to mine. But now I had the sense of I'm trailing instead of leading.
We took up the task of doing this match ourselves because it's our product, and you know this is our, you know, if this was like we're selling a new invention, you know, this is our product we're showing. This is our prototype. That's
Right.
the word I was thinking of. This is our
Correct.
prototype. So this is us showing in the world our prototype. We would love more capable athletes to be out there and just yank that sandbag off the floor, throw it on their shoulder,
Oh yeah, I mean
and take off.
that's the goal. I mean, in my mind, of course, I want to see somebody out there who would put me to shame, who can
Yeah,
really show what the vision is of this sport to develop too.
yeah. We want elite athletes out here. Like, if you apply to race with us one day, uh, don't bank that you're going to be going against us. We want you to go against somebody hard.
Well, yeah, I mean, just like you said, some of the people you've shown already have said it looks difficult, but I mean, these are just the baby steps. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we want athletes out there who are competitive and willing to push themselves and still love that competition.
So moving on, I drop off the jerry cans at 8:18. I pick up my first 2 pieces of ammo. You're still carrying the sandbag. At 8:13, I pick up that cash that I threw, and I pick up my third piece of ammo. So now I have 3 to your 1. At about the same time, it says 8:12, so maybe a second before me. Or maybe that's just a typo.
Yeah.
But about the same time, you drop off the bag for 2. So now we're 3 to 3.
Right.
With, you know, the knowledge that there's more ammo on the field. There's 1 piece of ammo on the field for you still, more than me. At 8:02, I enter the nether ender. So within a minute of us starting, I'm already trying to rescue the dummy. And I know you saw that and you're like, what the hell?
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely had a different strategy. I mean, even though you had lost the sprint sled part of the race or part of the round, yeah, you definitely were trying to go about things quicker.
I felt,
I mean, again, it threw me off. I thought I was in the lead, but I was lagging.
again, this is the best 2 out of 3. I'm feeling the pressure down 1 round to nothing because this is my, you know, quote unquote elimination match.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to push the action, trying to tie this thing back up. I have here in my notes, Joe slowly retrieves the cash. You were tired from that bag. Huh?
Oh, I mean, right now, and even moving forward, the supply bag is a very difficult reload. I mean, again, it's 150 pounds. What, about a foot and a half by a foot and a half? It's very compact. It's
Yeah.
very heavy, and you have to have good technique and form when lifting and taking it. Otherwise, you could be 10 seconds ahead, and it would still
Yeah.
probably set you back.
And anybody, you know, calling us out, just keep in mind we filmed this months ago.
Right.
We're in a lot better shape now. We're pretty good with that bag these days.
Oh yeah, it's a lot different story.
Yeah. At 7:46, so it took you, what is that, 16 seconds to drop off the cash. So you're huffing and puffing and
I'm catching my breath and trying to get it back together. Definitely.
All right, at 7:28, you're coming into the nether ender. Players cross paths with Chris dropping off the dummy, so I'm unlocking my gun. And you get into the nether enders. Just a refresher, the nether ender zone is our end zone of the game. That's where the targets are. we can only enter and exit in a straight line. So basically go straight, pick up the dummy. It's like we're sneaking behind enemy lines to get to our friend that we're rescuing.
Yeah, you just can't run out in the middle of an open field and expect not to be seen.
Yeah. So we're sneaking back there. We're rescuing our friend. Our friend is the one with the gun, but he has no bullets, so he's useless with the gun. But now that we have bullets, we have gun, we can do something to take care of the threat.
So you see the predicament that we're in.
At 6:47, you unlock your weapon, and I'm loading my gun and already completed memory boxes. What were the memory boxes? I didn't write it down.
Red, blue, and chrome. No, I don't really know, to be honest with you.
No, it was like orange. And we saw the episode today, and I don't remember.
Hence the memory part of this sport.
Hey, I only needed to remember it short term. I didn't even remember it the rest of my life. At 6:34, I start shooting. I hit my first and then missed my next two, and I'm forced to reload the dummy. At the same time, you're completing your memory boxes. So the memory boxes, deliver them in the correct order in the wheelbarrow, and that's how you unlock your mace when we get to the boss target. But so I hit my first, I missed my next two, and I don't know if it's because I'm tired or if it's because I'm in such a rush. I didn't really notice anything wrong with my gun, even though, yeah, they were coming up short. My bullets are coming up short.
Well, yeah, that was a little bit of a malfunction. But, I mean, as you had mentioned, yeah, different parts of this race, you're going to be gassed and winded. So, again, in regard to the memory boxes or even just checking your weapon, the mental aspect is also very important too. You know, you have to pay attention to detail. You have to have a plan. You have to adjust according to your competitor, what they're doing, and maybe readjust your plan. At the same time, keep the memory boxes in order. Make sure your weapon's firing correctly. I mean, all this while you're physically expending energy as well.
Yeah, and this is trial and error for us, and we've improved these things. Like this is the perfect example of why we wanted a test match like this, because we didn't think of, hey, we should maybe reload the CO2 every match.
I mean, as the sport evolves, obviously this is everything that'll be smooth and ironed out, because as we look forward to some of you joining us, we don't want any of these things to happen.
Yeah.
This is all for us to take care of right now.
Everything's going to go smooth, and we're going to be referees during those times. So, at 6:03, you start shooting, and I pick up 2 more pieces of ammo for dragging that dummy to the middle of the field. I didn't have the technique to pick them up like you did in the first round and carry them like carrying your wife through the threshold or anything, but I just grabbed them by the arms and dragged them.
That dummy's butt must be chafed.
And I know I've said it before, but he's very bottom heavy.
Oh, definitely.
It's all on the legs.
Definitely. That's where it's all at.
It's rubber mulch, and I think I told you this last month, like before we start, when testing phase is over, let's throw another bag of rubber mulch in them, because it'll fill it out better. It'll be a little bit more heavier.
Yeah, hopefully the weight won't move and, like you said, be a little more evened out.
Yeah. All right, so I got 2 pieces of ammo now. You're starting to shoot with, what, 4?
I had 4, I believe.
Yeah, so I'm getting back to my targets, and you're already done shooting. Went 3 for 4.
Well, I mean, the one thing I want to say, this sport, within one round, things can change drastically. And quick recap, I won the sprint sled portion, thought I had the lead, watched you go for the cache of the jugs, had the feeling like I was going from behind, playing catch up all the way to unloading the weapon and trying to shoot the targets, seeing that you didn't.
You felt relief right away.
Back in the lead, so it was like, okay, I'm winning. Okay, shoot, I need to catch up. Oh, wait, I'm okay again. This is not just for us, but for anybody who wants to play this. You're going to go through all those emotions back and forth just within one round, and this is the best 2 out of 3, so it's ongoing.
Yeah, and I guess the best way, the only way really to see who's quote-unquote in the lead is how many targets you've shot. So I guess I was winning with 1 target down, but being that I had 0 bullets, I'm kind of way behind at the same time.
Yeah, once I saw you getting the dummy and have to drag him back, it definitely settled me more, gave me that extra second to aim and make sure I hit my targets.
Yeah, and so you were already done, so I didn't really get a chance to to start shooting again. And I'll get to my issues with the gun to begin with, but had I come back with 2 more pieces of ammo to shoot those 2 targets, I have to reset again. I have to aim again versus already having the bullets in the chamber. And if anybody's ever shot a real gun or a BB gun or even a video game gun, once you have your aim, it's easy to adjust.
Right.
You just adjust slightly, and then now you can hit.
Just getting it first.
Yeah. And that's why, you'll see us out there. We'll miss one. We'll just readjust our aim and we'll hit the rest of the targets.
Yeah.
So I would have had to come back and reset all over and try to hit them. So I'm already playing from behind double now. But at 5:49, Joe re-enters another ender with the memory boxes. He unlocks his mace and finishes off the boss at 5:36. I'm standing there holding my gun because I finally realized I have a CO2 issue, and I needed a new CO2 canister.
Oh, so the issue wasn't just you.
Yeah, apparently I'm a better aim than the gun would have. And if you look at the replays at the end of the episode 2, if you look slowly at the part where I'm shooting, you can see like a paintball just falling out.
Yeah, you see where it malfunctioned.
Like
definitely.
there's no CO2. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no discharge from the pressure from my weapon. So yeah, but them is the brakes, ain't they?
Them's the breaks. That's how that goes.
So our stats for the round. Joe, maximum efficiency, 2 reloads. That's all he needed, and you won the race zone. But you used up all your bullets, right? Four pieces of ammo.
I did.
So you would have had to go back if you had missed just one more.
Well, luck was on my side.
Yeah, I don't know if that's because you went 3 for 5 the first round. So if you had, done this in the first round, no, if you had shot the same in the first round as you did this time, you would have.
I would have had to go and
Yeah.
reload, but fortunately, my aim was a little more on this round.
Yeah, and even though these were different targets, you were shooting on a different side. So
That's true.
first time you were shooting these targets and it didn't give you. I think it's just we got the feel for the weapon.
Well, more than anything, I'd have to agree.
Total ammo, I had 5, but only got to shoot 4. Went 1 for 4 shooting. The last, I think that I actually did pull the trigger a 5th time and nothing happened. I didn't finish. Joe finished 3 minutes and 24 seconds, and that's your second round won. So you win the match officially, best 2 out of 3.
That's correct. I was the winner of our first ever alpha testing phase of Reloader.
Yes, congratulations.
I'll take it.
And next week we are doing a 3rd round, even though it's not a tie-break round or anything. It's just,
Well, we didn't drive all the way out there for nothing.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah.
We went out there to do 3. We're doing 3.
All right. Well, that was round 2. Thanks for hanging in there. Move on now to Reloader news and developments. Now we're in our 2nd week live. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, things are steady, and we're so happy that our friends and family are supporting us. So thank you again. Appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Upcoming races and tournaments. So we have a few rounds in the bank, still yet to be released. But, we have to keep producing content, and we're looking to film another race July 1st. We're looking for a couple players because I'm sure people will get sick of looking at us do it. And this has always been about introducing the sport to the world, and we want the world to start participating in it. So if you're looking to join us July 1st and you're in Southern California, please send us a message on social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, or drop a comment. I read all the comments, so drop a comment if you're interested. July 1st, I'll message you in private, or we'll email me, reloadersport@gmail.com if you want. Whatever to get in contact with us. We'll hash out the details, see if it's, our schedules match up. But July 1st, we're looking for a couple players.
I look forward to seeing some of you out there on the field. I want
to see how other people approach it and
I look
handle
forward
it.
to setting up the field for you, to refereeing for you, because that means I don't have to set up the field, race, reset up the field, reset up the field, and then load up the van again.
Good point. And the more people we have out there, resetting the field in between rounds, the faster everything goes and the smoother everything goes.
Oh yeah.
We have dollies and everything. We're not like tiring ourselves out.
But I mean, but nevertheless, work is
Yeah.
work still.
Channel highlights for this recent developments in the channel. We have a TikTok now. TikTok is just short reels that you'll get on Instagram, if you're already following us there. The shorts that are on YouTube. Speaking of, we now do shorts on YouTube, little clips on Reels and Instagram. So we're posting 2 videos a day, Monday through Friday, and one on Saturday and Sunday that are shorts. Our YouTube schedule is the same, where we do the clips a couple times a week. We have horse on Wednesday. Shout out to anybody that watched us play horse. It's just like basketball, where
Same concept.
yeah, Joe has to take a shot. I have to match the shot. If I miss it, I get an H. But it's not just shooting. We're doing it with, reloads. So I think the first episode we just played on Wednesday, it was the heavy sandbag, and this was early.
No, it was the water jugs.
Oh, it was?
The jerry cans.
Okay,
yeah.
next week is sandbags. Going back to social media, anyone listening to this that wants to promote their brand, wants to promote their business,
Let us know.
let us know. If you notice on our matches above our screen names, you'll see their social media handles. So we'll promote your social media handles. We'll even go the extra step and do, a little more personable social media.
Just let us know.
Let us, yeah. And of course, if you want to, sponsor us and support us, we have reloadersport.com for, t-shirts and sweaters. I'm getting ready to buy a sweater myself so I can go play poker with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now on to our main topic for today's podcast, which is reloads. Now, the reloads are what we use to describe the tasks the players must do to earn the ammo. Excluding the race zone, anything in the reloader zone that you use to earn ammo, those are our reloads. And that's where the majority of our physical activity happens during the game. So they happen exclusively in the reloader zone, and they can be done at any time in any order. So anyone not familiar with the game yet, you pick what you want to do. So it's up to your strategy as an athlete. Like if you feel like the sandbag's too heavy for you or it's going to slow you down too much, don't do it. If you don't need to do it, don't do it. So it's completely your option for that round. And at every round, the field resets and you have different options.
Well, I mean, not to interrupt you, but again, this sport is meant to be for a wide range of athletes, not just your strongman, not just your long distance runner, not your sport athlete. It's for everybody. Like you were saying, as you see the field, as you see how it's set up, you figure out how you want to run your race. And yeah, what reloads are easier for you, what ones may give you difficulty. And if you're somebody as ourselves, who want to continue playing this sport, hey, push yourself. Get better at the ones that you're not good at. Maybe the next time you decide to join us again, that's the one you want to go after because you've been working on it. But it's for everybody across the board to make this an even playing field and make it competitive for all.
Yeah, you can cross over to your opponent's side of the field. Hey, maybe you want to steal one of their reloads and make it harder for them. If you feel like they suck at something, go take the one that they're good at and force them to do the one that gives them difficulty.
I mean, right. If you see a weakness and it's something you can take advantage of based upon your strength of skills, hey, I mean, that's what it's here for. I mean, you may unlock something to our eyes that we haven't even seen before or thought of. I mean, that's where we are.
That sounds, that's what we want. That's entertaining.
Exactly.
The thing that reloads will not be is some random exercise. To me, it has to make sense with the story of the game. So, in my head, so
it's not going to be drop and give me 100.
Yeah, exactly. So, the story of the game is there's bad guys on your side of the field. They kidnapped your friend. You gotta check them. You gotta take them out.
Exactly. There's villains. You're the hero. But moving forward, again, we want the concepts to change. It could be...
Yeah, we'll have themes.
Yeah, they could be bad guys. It could be a zombie. It could be aliens.
But they're all bad guys.
Killer clowns. The theme may change. The basic gist of it will stay the same.
Yeah.
But to keep it entertaining for you, the visuals may be different.
Yeah, so, I mean, the idea is the sandbag is a supply bag. You're going to need supplies to take out the enemy. The water jugs can be, gasoline or something. It's just kind of like we're trying to have fun out there with the story of the game. These are necessary things. in the world of prepping and survival, you need to survive an emergency. So it's
It,
kind of like that.
it's something to a degree that is practical and physically challenges you in competition as well.
Yes, but like you said, it won't be dropping in me 100. It won't. Uh, I'm not trying to knock other types of fitness competitions, but doing burpees for the sake of doing burpees is silly to me.
I mean, but if you can do those, you can probably do this too,
Well,
hopefully.
yeah, but if we just dropped and started doing burpees in the desert, we would look like. I mean, maybe we look stupid already, but that would look really stupid. But
In a different way.
yeah, it's never gonna be like get on a stationary bike for no reason. It's never gonna be do a bunch of jump rope for no reason. It's gonna be thematic with the game. Having said that, let's go over our current reloads, and then we'll talk a little about future reloads. Some we already have in our inventory, and some are in the process of being made, and some are, we don't know what we want yet, but we
Yeah.
know where we want to go
Conceptual.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So first reload, the granddaddy, the supply bag. So it's a sandbag carry. It's about 90 feet ish. I know I write on the episode, but it's about 90 feet ish.
More or less.
Yeah.
It's like legging one out through first base.
Yeah. So it's yeah. So it's the corner of the field intentionally, and for our testing races, we place them on the closer side to the race because it just it's a little bit harder. So it's harder for sure than the jerry cans. So put it closer if we're gonna put anything closer.
Well, it's a little more inviting
Yeah.
that way as well.
But what muscles does it work? I'll tell you. We're not like fitness experts where we know every single muscle, but I know a little bit, and I'll tell you where I feel it. And let me know, Joe, if you have anything to add in terms of muscles I'm missing. All right.
Okay.
So this is where I feel it. First, the grip, because you got a strong grip to grab that thing.
You have to.
I work out with gloves because to get under that thing, you could scrape your knuckles a little bit.
I feel like I've always had grip strength, period, in my life. I still wear gloves. Because
Yeah.
without gloves, it is really difficult to get under. And I've even banged myself or my fingers up a little bit trying to do it barehanded.
It's not like the jerry cans, for example, where grip is completely necessary. It helps. The gloves don't help with grip at all, and the gloves are kind of like to protect your hands, really.
Basically.
But also another muscle it works on the clean portion of the lift. Now the clean portion, I mean you're getting it off the ground, bringing it to your body. Forearms, biceps, and it's an upper back because it's like a pull-up almost because you're pulling from the bottom. Once you get to the squat position, like you bring it to your lap, and you have to stand back up, your hips, your glutes, your quads, and then when I stand up, I feel it on my lower back, big time. I have a bad lower back. My quads, hamstrings, and my shoulders. I'd say it's primarily, it's a full body exercise for sure, but I think it's primarily a quad exercise, just when you're walking.
Once you get the bag lifted, it definitely is a lower half type of exercise.
Yeah.
Like you were stating in the beginning, for me personally,
Once you have it secure, it's mostly legs.
I don't feel like I have to use a lot of bicep. It's more
No, but it helps.
it's more grip strength and forearm. But for me, be it honestly that I'm shorter than you, there's a little bit less room. I have to get it onto my knees. I can squat down pretty low, do a quick lift to my knees, and then hoist it from there. Which, again, I mean, different types of athletes. I am a little smaller. It's less height to lift, and just use my lower half from there and get
Yeah.
it up.
Well, I bring it close to my body. It's not like a curl where
Right.
it hits your biceps. But,
No, definitely.
But it definitely activates them. You could feel it.
Oh yeah.
Once you're walking with the bag, you feel like all your body's stabilizing muscles. Everything that's trying to like secure you and carry. We're not heavy guys.
Yeah, the quicker you move, you definitely feel it.
I don't really weigh myself. If I had to guess, I'm like 180. I don't know.
Well,
But-
not to put myself down, but I'm probably around the same weight as the bag that I'm lifting.
That's a undercover brag.
And that's giving it, and that's like
a
give or
veiled
take 5 or
brag.
10. That's give or take 5 or 10 pounds. But hey, I'm not going down that route. I'm just saying.
When you first start picking this shit up, it's like, oh, oh, my body's like, it's like carrying a whole person, but
Yeah.
just in your arms.
Right. Yeah.
So once you're walking with it, middle back really gets activated.
Big time.
Um, your whole lower body is really doing the work. Hips, I've actually, in training, my hips have gotten really sore. Quads, again. Hamstrings, hamstrings have got really sore. Calves to a lesser extent,
Yeah.
but you are projecting yourself off your feet, so you do feel it in your calves. It's like almost like it's walking uphill, really. Your core for sure, your abs and your obliques, like your whole center of your body, your torso, really is needed to
It,
support that.
yeah. It's a full body workout, no doubt.
Now this one was surprising to me, but my chest got sore, and actually, I haven't been the greatest about doing chest exercises and push-ups and stuff, but this thing will build your chest. I don't know how. I guess from holding it, but my chest, yeah, it works. It works it out.
Well, at least for me personally, like we've discussed, I'd say that might be due to, in part, for myself, my arms aren't the longest. So, yeah, your chest and your arms are totally stretched out all the way around just to hold it in place.
Yeah.
So you're putting strain on those muscles as well. But yeah, those are holding it in place. Your lower body and your core are doing the rest of the work. But there's strain put on those muscles as well.
When I developed this game, the reloads I wanted were full body exercise, and this is absolutely a full body exercise.
Definitely.
Which takes us to our next reload. Also, something I wanted a full body exercise, and I think gets the job done, is the farmer's walk with the jerry cans. Now, this is more heavy on the grip than the sandbag. My grip has gotten very sore from training with the farmer's walk, but I got pretty good at it. These are 7 gallons, so they're a little bit bigger than like your Sparklet's
Yeah,
5 gallon water jugs
Then
at
the
the
normal.
office.
Yeah.
So they do wear on your grip if you hold them for long enough. If you hold them for like a minute, you don't have to go anywhere. Just stand and just pick them up for a minute. You're gonna be sore in your forearms and your grip the next day. But this exercise is hits your shoulders more, especially the traps. I would say the farmer's walk is a big time traps.
Yeah, you
exercise.
definitely feel it when you're moving.
And I feel it more on my delts, my side shoulder, more than the sandbag. Again, forearms, because you're gripping, you're holding it by the handle, so your forearms are going to be worked out for sure. Once you're walking, again, it's like the sandbag, your body stabilizing muscles come right back into play. Your middle back gets worked out. Your whole lower body, from the hips, quads, hamstrings, calves, core, and abs again. It's similar to the heavy carry of the sandbag, but you're holding it more in your arms.
Yeah, you feel a lot more
yeah.
through those muscles.
And these are lighter. They're about 70 pounds each. So combined, they're lighter than the sandbag. It's just a different type of exercise. But, one of the main reasons I wanted the jerry cans out there is because they do mess with your grip. And a lot of what we do is grip heavy. And later, we'll get to it as we talk about future reloads. A lot of the stuff is very grip specific. And the equipment specifically I ordered make it harder for the grip. Like the ropes, for example, which we'll get to. Chest, a little bit, but not so much as the sandbag or other exercises, but it does. And depending how you hold it, like once you start running with the farmer's walk, I find it easier to bend the knees and slightly bend the elbows to where I'm kind of acting like I'm not curling it, but I'm slightly picking it up, and I go faster like that.
I've seen you jog and or run with it, and to be frankly honest with you, my approach, I just take long strides. I try to take quick, long strides. I'm a little
No, I'm
hesitant.
doing like short steps.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant that way to do it because the one thing the jerry cans do is
Do.
one thing the jerry cans do is test your balance. You have to maintain
Yeah.
stability in your legs and your core to make sure that water doesn't
Yeah.
tip back and
that's
forth
the
and throw
cool
you
part.
off hard. I mean that's the most difficult or taxing part of this reload.
Yeah, I mean, at the gym, I could pick up the 100-pound dumbbells and farmer's walk with them. But it feels different doing it with jerry cans because it's water.
Water
it
moves.
sways.
Yeah.
And it makes your core stabilize it more. So and that's the reason I wanted the water, because mess with you a
Yeah,
little bit.
it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It definitely provides more of a challenge.
The third reload we have on the field right now is that emergency cache. It's 7 pounds. It's filled with ball bearings. It's not much of a workout. I just kind of put it there to kind of waste your time for one piece of ammo. Like if you want that one ammo, go ahead and waste your time and grab that
Well, yeah, I
one.
mean, it's something you need. And one thing I've learned, at least in the alpha testing phase, it's something you can kind of do while you're trying to catch your breath.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, get that one piece of ammo for insurance just in case. And not to be a spoiler, but I know moving forward we may still have the cache, but it may be
Yeah, we're changing.
attached to something else to make
Yeah.
this a little more difficult.
With the emergency cache, it's also thematic to the game. If you look closely, I put first aid or fire gear on it. Like it's part of your emergency
It's in the
pack.
theme of rescue.
Yeah. Our last reload that we're using right now during alpha testing is that rescue dummy. So the rescue dummy is necessary to unlock your gun, and we do that right now with the wheelbarrow. And to speak a little bit on the wheelbarrow, again, that's another core exercise, a leg exercise. If you see episode 1, I struggle with him. That hurt my wrist for months.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
still complaining about that.
that's it is core. It's balance. The dummy again is very bottom heavy right now. The wheelbarrow is a wheelbarrow. It's not.
And it's a cheap wheelbarrow. It's not
I
a
mean,
fancy
yeah, I
wheelbarrow.
mean, it's not a wagon. It's not something laid out.
It's
You
on one wheel.
You have to put the weight balanced so we don't all suffer the same consequence of my friend Christopher Bumbershoot over here, and yeah, maybe destroy one of your hands in the process.
What do we put? The wheelbarrow, it kind of gives you this false sense of confidence. I think one time we put 2 sandbags in it. We're like, try to load the field with it. And no, it's just too heavy. It just
Yeah.
tips over on you.
In another episode or another round that we tried,
No spoilers.
I mean, I've tried to overload the wagon a few times too and found myself stuck. I know I've dropped stuff on myself. Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. It's not.
So once you either dump the dummy out of the wheelbarrow or pick him up softly out of the wheelbarrow, whatever, once you get him out of the nether ender zone, he then becomes another option for a reload to drag him to the center of the field or carry him. So the rescue carry is another reload of ours for 2 pieces of ammo. And that's, it's like carrying a person. Depending how you carry him, whether you're dragging him or you're carrying him like how Joe did in the first episode where he's close to the body, or throw him over your shoulder.
Yeah.
But again, it's a heavy carry. It's heavy on the stabilizing muscles. It's a lower body exercise, and picking them up probably more heavy on the biceps because you're kind of curling them up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're somebody who has a little more upper body strength, it might be a little easier that way. You can rely, on your biceps, your shoulders a little bit, and just kind of maintain the balance there.
So in episode 2, and I'm tired from, probably still from the first round, but I'm tired in episode 2, so I decide to drag him. So that's activating my grip because I'm grabbing his arms, but what I really felt it on was my legs, my hamstrings, because I'm going backwards, and my hamstrings were already like.
Well, that's a total burnout right there.
Yeah, my hamstrings were already like, what the hell are you doing today, anyways?
What are you doing to me?
Yeah, because we're like at that point we're out there like 2 hours just lifting crap all day. So that's our reloads for our testing version, and like Joe said earlier, we only have 3 targets out there. When we move up to 4 targets, 5 targets, there's going to be more reloads because you're going to need more bullets, more options to get bullets. So let's talk about some possible future reloads. Joe, we have a push sled that hasn't been cooperating with us. We've been 86ing it from some of our potential reloads, but the push sled is there because I really want a push exercise. We talked about some of these working the chest, but not really. I want something that is a push exercise that can work out the chest, the triceps, the shoulders. Haven't quite found that. I know push sled would be perfect. The original idea was actually to put the dummies on a push sled in the nether ender. So I think in another iteration of this field, we will do that. We just got to get probably better push sleds.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a great reload to have for this sport. It's a total body workout.
Yeah, because you're pushing its legs. I
mean, it definitely goes with the theme of the sport as well. But the only problem we've encountered so far is just the terrains we've used. I mean, it's a good concept. whether it be the equipment that we have right now or just the terrain itself, it's made it a little more difficult to actually accomplish that task. But I know moving forward, that's something we'll get over the hump with. We have a little more professional field, so to speak, that we can play on. It'll definitely be incorporated and something, again, that'll be a whole body reload while you're out there.
Another piece of equipment I can't wait to introduce that might even go with the push sled is that rope that we have in the.
Oh, yeah, well, there's that as well that you
Yeah.
can attach to it. And then there's another version of using it as well.
So the rope that we're gonna eventually bring out, it's a thick piece of rope. It's 2 inches around, and that was I ordered that specifically, again for grip strength, forearm, to tax your forearms and all that.
What is it, 25, 35, 40, how much?
Pounds?
Yeah.
Or, dude, I don't know. It's heavy though.
Yeah, it's at least, it's got to be 30, 40 pounds.
It's
probably.
literally like the worst thing to load when we're loading.
Yeah.
It's really heavy. It's 65 feet long, so it extends through the majority of the nether ender. If we want to,
Basically, basically all
we had
of it.
some trials out where we were trying to use it. It didn't work out. We're still working out the details, but I can't wait to introduce that rope either as a pull exercise or a climbing exercise tied to something we climb up. It's still, part of that survival type full body exercise theme that we're going for. But a rope climb would be awesome because we don't really have pull exercises.
At this point, no.
Yeah, so I want to introduce something that works the lats. Also, that's a skill that people need to learn. A rope climb or a rope swing, if we can rig it to where you're swinging with the rope to try to grab a piece of ammo. So that's future rope swing, push sled. Wheelbarrow's already out there, but we want more options for its use. The wheelbarrow's not always going to be in the nether ender. It is for these. But yeah, we're going to switch it up. Maybe the push sled will be on the nether ender. Wheelbarrow will be in another part of the field as a reload. Or just out there and as an option if you want to use it.
Yeah, for
maybe.
you to use how you want to. I mean, again, for those different types of athletes out there, maybe the wheelbarrow you find more functional or maybe equipped to your skill set. If that's something you can use, it'll be there. If it's something you think is a waste of time, you can just leave it on the field.
Another one that is, it's in our inventory, and this is not really even, it's not a workout at all. It's a non-athletic, but it tests your focus under pressure, and it's an ammo search. So, without going into too much detail, basically the ammo is hidden in something that looks like a lot like the ammo, but aren't, and you basically have to find ammo. It's similar to the cache where it's just more of a time drain.
Well, I mean, and again, I think part of it, like you said, even though it's not athletic, as you play this sport and you'll learn when you're engaged in it and you're out there running around, it's definitely wears you out physically. And for those who do work out or have played sports competitively, when you're gassed, sometimes it's a little harder to focus.
Yeah,
so
you're not thinking straight.
you need to learn and challenge yourself to be able to stay focused while you're trying to recover as well. So, I mean, it's something that may not be physically challenging, but in any physical activity, your mental approach definitely plays into it as well.
Yeah, and I do want to introduce more mental type reloads where it's like either memory or puzzles or stuff like this where you're trying to find something. But it's survival's not just a physical game; it's a mental game too. So you'll in the future you'll see more of that as we introduce more targets. Any functional fitness type exercise we're open to. We want variety, complexity, everything that'll make this game more difficult and more funny. More fun, not more funny. Funny would be good too though. We're happy to take inspiration from obstacle course racing, CrossFit, strongman, Ninja Warrior, etc., and implement them on the field. But again, it's got to be, with the theme of the game.
Yeah, something practical in regard to the theme of what we're trying to do.
And it's got to be a good workout. Lastly, and this is just a tease, but it's there, it exists, and it's something we really, really can't wait to unveil.
Yeah.
Our climbing apparatus,
Dun, dun,
H.
dun.
Quote unquote climbing apparatus, H. It has a name.
Will it
It's not
just be
ready to
H?
be
Is it
revealed.
just H right now?
It's just H.
Okay, it's just H.
H what is what
Okay.
it stands for.
Then I won't spoil it.
Okay, thank you. But it's basically, something you climb. That's all we're going to say.
Can I say one thing?
What?
Can I give one clue?
Maybe I'll
The-
cut it out if it's too much of a clue.
The H we're referring to is also hidden in the logo itself.
Yes. The logo would be like the bird's eye view of it.
Yeah. It may not be what everybody thinks it is. It is actually, as Chris mentioned, the bird's eye view of what this H is.
Yeah. So it's a climbing apparatus, so it's going to work, those muscles as you would a pull-up, but more specifically kind of a muscle up, because there's not really, you would have to climb onto it, and that's, it's a pull-up exercise, but it's more of a muscle up because you have to get on top of it.
Also, for those athletes who are more agile, it may be something you can just
Yeah,
not
this
per
is
se muscle up
for a
but-
lighter athlete.
Yeah, I mean that's why, I mean, again, this is for all athletes of all phases.
Yeah.
This reload specifically doesn't have an advantage to anyone. It's just whomever is willing to take it on and whatever you feel is the best way according to your skill set.
I think it creates a great sense of balance compared to the heavy carries, where a heavy carry favors someone like a strongman or a CrossFit are good at anything, but a heavy carry favors someone that's very strong, maybe a heavier athlete.
Yeah.
Someone that's 250 pounds is not going to struggle so much with that 150-pound sandbag.
Right.
But a lighter athlete, someone that's 120 pounds, I used to be 120 pounds in high school, and I could do some pull-ups. So, that athlete who's quick and fast and agile can pick up multiple pieces of ammo from this apparatus, and honestly, they can win the round just doing that.
The H should be E for equalizer. It really should. I mean, yeah, it just, again, it depends on your skill set, what your agenda is, your whole strategy about going for this race or each round. Moving forward, it'll be a game changer for that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and we're gonna leave you with that tease today, because we're really excited about that, and I probably commissioned it to be built a little too early in the development of this business, but
Nevertheless, it's
yeah,
there.
but it's there. It's it's collecting dust right now, but it's there, and we can't wait to set it up and
Yeah,
use
hopefully
it.
not for long.
It's gonna look beautiful on the field. It's gonna look great.
Yeah.
But that's all for our podcast today. Thank you so much again for joining us. Next week, our topic is going to be about shooting. We did reloads this week. Next week, we're going to cover shooting in detail. We're going to talk about the weapons we're currently using, how to handle them, troubleshooting, which, we've had our share of troubleshooting, strategy in terms of how they factor into the game, variations of weapons we may use in the future, possible changes. But yeah, next week's shooting. Again, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, @reloadersport. YouTube's where we put all our content. YouTube's our main form of getting the word out to the world, and the rest of the social medias is kind of reposting from YouTube. Merch plug, reloadersport.com. Joe Pisoletto, what's your Instagram?
You can find me at reloader_13.
Now, do you pronounce that reloader_13, fool?
Not 13, dog.
If you're interested in merchandise, we appreciate it. We're doing this for free right now. We're doing this for the love of the game, literally. And any support you give to us helps us to keep doing this.
All your views, all your likes, all your subscriptions, any purchases, we greatly appreciate.
Yeah, but that's it for our second podcast. We went a little bit longer today, but I thought we got some good explanations of the reloads. We'll see you next week where we're talking about shooting.
Thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Have a good day. Bye.